My child, you carry too much. The weight you drag behind you, shame, regret, betrayal, disappointment, is not yours to keep. It was never meant to define you. I did not shape you from dust, only to watch you bury yourself under it. You think you are honoring your past by holding on, but you are imprisoning your future. I see you. I see how tightly you grip the pain that was thrown at you. I see how your memories echo like chains around your spirit. You replay moments again and again, what they said, what you should have said, how you failed, how they hurt you. You call it reflection, but I call it entrapment. There is a time to remember, and there is a time to release. You were not created to drown in yesterday. Let me tell you what I've already told the waves. Peace, be still. You do not need to earn my permission to let go. You already have it. You only need to believe that your identity does not begin with the wound, but with the one who can heal it. The cross was not just a symbol of sacrifice. It was a doorway of freedom. Jesus didn't just die to forgive your sins. He rose to release your burdens. Today is not about forgetting. It's about no longer being bound. Let me walk you through the waters that will not drown you. Let me teach you how to leave behind what cannot follow you into your purpose. Let it go. Not because it wasn't real, but because I am more real, and I am still writing your story. Chapter 1. Let go of what broke you. I was there, in the betrayal, in the heartbreak, in the silence that followed. In the moments when you sat in the dark and questioned your worth, when the voices of pain were louder than your prayers, I was there. You wonder where I was when it shattered. I was standing with you, holding every broken piece you tried to hide, waiting for you to give them to me. Not to ignore them, not to erase them, but to transform them. You've mistaken survival for healing. But surviving only means you made it through. It doesn't mean you were made whole. You can survive and still bleed inside. You can function and still be fractured. And I love you too much to let you live like that. I created you not to endure pain endlessly, but to emerge from it radiant and restored. Every scar matters to me, not as a reminder of your weakness, but as proof of what I've carried you through. You want to know why it still hurts? Because you never released it. You buried it deep and called it strength. You learned to smile through the ache, to wear a brave face while your spirit trembled. But I did not ask you to be a graveyard for your own suffering. I created you for resurrection, not for burial. I called you to be a vessel for my glory. And glory does not grow where shame is rooted. I planted greatness in you, but it needs space to breathe. Space your pain is currently occupying. What was meant to break you, I will use to build you. Not just to rebuild what was lost, but to raise something stronger, something that could only come from the ashes. But I can only build when your hands are open, not clenched around what once was. You are not protecting yourself. You are blocking your own healing. Let me show you what freedom looks like when you finally release what was never meant to follow you forward. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, it mattered. Every tear, every silent scream, every restless night, it all matters to me. The pain was not small to me, but I am the God who binds wounds, and I do not heal halfway. I complete the work I begin. I do not ask you to deny it happened. I ask you to let me redeem what happened. I ask you to let me step into the places you've tried to heal alone and bring light where darkness has lingered too long. You cannot rewrite it, but I can rework it. I can take what crushed you and turn it into courage. I can take what abandoned you and anchor you in love that never leaves. I can take what was meant to wound you permanently and turn it into wisdom that blesses others, guidance that leads them home. What once weakened you can now become the very strength through which I shine. Let me do what only I can do. Trust that I see the full picture when you only hold the pieces. Trust that I still have plans for you, good plans, whole plans, sacred plans. Let it go and watch what I will grow in the place where sorrow once reigned. Begin with honesty. Do not pretend the pain is smaller than it is. Don't dress the wound with distraction or denial. Sit with me and bring it to light. Speak it in prayer, not once, not out of routine, but like you're handing me the keys to the locked rooms in your heart. Name it, not because I don't already know, but because naming it loosens its grip on you. Lay it before me, every detail, every fear, every question you've been too afraid to say out loud. And then, make a sacred choice. Stop letting it hold your hand, guide your steps, and whisper false identities into your spirit. You've walked with it long enough. Now it's time to walk with me. I have not called you to bleed forever. I did not design your soul for ongoing sorrow. The blood was already shed, once and for all, so that you could walk healed, not haunted. Let it go, not by force, but through faith. You don't have to know how the healing will come, only that I am the healer. I have healing in my hands, deep, lasting, beautiful healing. But for me to fill your life with peace, hope, and purpose, you must first empty your hands of the grief, guilt, and memories that were never meant to be carried this long. Let me have them. Trust me with them. And watch what freedom feels like when your hands are finally open again. Chapter 2. Let go of who left you. They walked away. They didn't say goodbye. Or maybe they said words that still echo like wounds, sharp and unrelenting. You didn't just lose a person. You lost expectations, promises, identity. You lost a future you imagined. A place in someone else's story you thought was yours forever. And now you wonder what was wrong with you, what you could have done differently, what part of you wasn't enough. But I never measured you by their decision. Their departure does not redefine your worth. Let me be clear. Rejection does not disqualify you. It redirects you. What you perceive as a closed door is sometimes the doorframe of a new beginning. You see it as abandonment, but I often use absence to create space for abundance. I know it aches. I never said it wouldn't. But the ache is not your destination. It's just a signal that something needs to be released. What feels like loss now may be the very soil I will use to plant your next season of growth. And those roots will go deeper than you ever imagined, because they are no longer tangled in dependency on people who were not meant to go with you. What feels like being forgotten is often the clearing of a path I never meant for you to walk down in the first place. You think it's rejection, but I call it realignment. You think it's failure, but I call it favor. I removed what you were clinging to, not to punish you, but to position you for something they could never carry you into. They may have been part of your story, but not part of your destiny. I am not a God who subtracts without intention. I prune to prepare. I sever to secure. Even my son said, "Every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful." That includes relationships, habits, patterns, and dreams you've outgrown. You keep asking why they didn't stay. But I'm asking why you still chase what I released. Why do you keep watering what I allowed to wither? You revisit old conversations, old memories, and old pain trying to find closure. But closure is not where your healing lives. My presence is. You won't find me in what I've called you out of. When people walk out, it hurts. I know. I understand. Even my son was abandoned in his hour of agony. He cried out, "Why have you forsaken me?" I heard him and I hear you. But even then, the loneliness did not void the mission. Even then, love kept moving. So must you. Remember this. The cross looked like loss, but it was the plan of salvation unfolding. The tomb looked like the end, but it was only the beginning. What appears like a setback often reveals the true strength I'm planting in you. Roots that grow deeper when the ground is shaken. Muscles that only form when you carry the weight of letting go. Faith that only stretches when the familiar is removed. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not being discarded. You are being refined. Let it hurt, but don't let it harden you. Let it break you open, so I can fill what they left behind with something eternal. Let it strip away your need for approval, so I can clothe you in purpose. Let it go, so I can give you more than what you asked for. Don't chase those who left. Chase the one who never will. They were part of your path, not your promise. Some people were only meant to walk with you for a season, to teach, to reveal, to stir something in you that could only come through their absence. Let them go, not with resentment, but with reverence for the lesson. You grow not in the grip, but in the release. Forgiveness is not a favor to them. It's a freedom for you. I brought you through it, not to make you bitter, but to make you better. Every tear had a purpose. Every unanswered question is still under my sovereignty. What hurt you does not have the right to shape what heals you. Bless them, release them, and let your roots grow where I have planted you. I know the soil. I know the timing. You are not buried. You are being deeply rooted in a place where storms won't shake you and truth will anchor you. Let your hands open. Let your heart breathe again. Stop rehearsing their departure and start rehearsing my presence. I am still here. I never left. And I will never let you walk alone, not for a moment. Chase me, and you will never find yourself abandoned again. Chapter 3. Let go of what you cannot control. You try to hold it all together, don't you? You think if you plan enough, prepare enough, fix everything fast enough, the chaos will quiet down. You calculate every risk, anticipate every outcome, and try to cover every weakness so no one sees how exhausted you've become. But control is a heavy illusion, and it's wearing you thin, draining the joy from your moments and the sleep from your nights. I never told you to carry what only I can command. You are not designed to live in panic mode. You are not weak for surrendering. You are wise. Wisdom doesn't look like clenched fists. It looks like open hands. Faith is not found in the grip. It's found in the release. When you let go, you don't fall apart. You fall into my arms. I hold the stars in place, and yet you question whether I can handle tomorrow. But I'm already in your tomorrow. I already dwell in your future. Nothing surprises me. Nothing overwhelms me. I am steady when everything else shakes. Let go of the need to manage outcomes. Stop trying to outthink what only trust can answer. You cannot see the full picture. I can. You cannot control the winds, but I command the seas. When Jesus was on the boat and the storm raged, the disciples panicked. Their fear drowned out their faith. But he slept, not because he didn't care, but because he knew who he was in the storm. So do you. You are my child. You don't need to panic in waves I control. You don't need to predict the future when I've already prepared the way. Peace doesn't come from the absence of storms. It comes from the presence of the Savior. And I never leave you. not even for a second. Surrender control daily, not just once a week or when things spiral, but every single morning. Before you check the news, check in with me. Before you scroll through fear-filled headlines or measure your life against someone else's highlight reel, stop and remember who holds your world in his hands. Anchor yourself in my word before the storms of the world start speaking. Make space for my voice to calm the noise before it ever has the chance to grow loud. When anxiety whispers that everything is falling apart, remind it who I am. Speak to it with authority, because my spirit lives within you. Say, my God is not absent. My God is in control. Remind it that I hold all things together, not loosely, not temporarily, but eternally, securely, and with divine wisdom that never wavers. I have not lost control, not for a second, not in the silence, not in the waiting. Even when it feels like chaos, I am orchestrating beauty in the background. When you feel overwhelmed, let that be your cue to return to me, not to retreat into worry. Don't run into the arms of your fears. Run into the shelter of my presence. Let your heart breathe in my presence and exhale the pressure you were never meant to carry. When you release that weight, you don't lose your strength. You discover mine. You don't fall apart. You are held together by hands that never fail. Breathe, trust, release. Say it again until your soul believes it. Say it when you wake up anxious. Say it when your chest is tight and your thoughts are racing. Let go, not just with your words, but with your heart, your hands, your plans, your control, your timeline. Every time you surrender, you make room for my peace to flood in and wash away fear. Peace is not the absence of pressure. It's the presence of the Prince of Peace in the middle of it. You are not falling apart. You are falling into grace. You are not unraveling. You are being rewoven by the one who knows every thread of your soul. I'm already ahead of you, already in your tomorrow, already working what you can't yet see. Walk with me, and you will walk in peace. Not temporary calm, but soul-deep peace that anchors you when the world trembles. Chapter 4. Let go of what you thought life would look like. You had a picture in your mind, a timeline, a path, a dream. You mapped out what life would be by now. You imagined milestones, relationships, achievements, and peace. And now you feel lost because reality didn't match expectation. The picture has shifted, and you're unsure where you belong in the frame. You ask me, did I go the wrong way? But what if I told you this detour was the design? What if I told you the steps you didn't plan are leading you exactly where I intended? You're not off track. You're off script, the one you wrote without me. And that's where real transformation begins. I am the author, and I don't copy anyone else's story. I'm not bound by your schedules or driven by your pressures. I write from eternity, not comfort. From purpose, not predictability. What you thought was failure may actually be formation. I use pressure to strengthen character. I use tension to deepen roots. What you see as delay may be divine training. It's not a denial. It's development. I am not withholding success. I'm building you to handle it. I am shaping your heart to hold what I want to place in your hands. Jesus never rushed. Even when others begged him to hurry, he walked. He moved with divine timing. Because purpose has its pace, so does your life. Speed is not a sign of significance. Faithfulness is. Let go of comparison. Let go of timelines. Let go of the belief that your value is tied to your speed or how closely your life matches someone else's. You are not behind. You are exactly where I need you, and I haven't forgotten what I spoke over you. When disappointment rises, shift your focus. Stop replaying what didn't happen and start recognizing what I'm unfolding. Ask not, why didn't this happen? But what are you doing in this? Because I'm always doing something. I never waste the unexpected. I never leave a single moment of pain, confusion, or delay without purpose. The path you didn't plan may lead to the promise you couldn't imagine. The road that feels barren may be the same one that breaks open in bloom. Trust me with the pen. Don't edit the page before it's finished. Don't fear the blank spaces. I write the best stories in places where surrender becomes the ink and faith turns the page. Chapter 5. Let go of the guilt you carry. You think you have to punish yourself to prove you're sorry. You think suffering is the only way to earn forgiveness, as if you could somehow repay a debt that's already been cleared. But that's not repentance. That's self-condemnation. And that is not of me. True repentance brings transformation, not torment. My son paid the price already. Once for all. You don't have to crucify yourself daily. The cross was never meant to become your burden. It was meant to become your bridge. I only ask that you walk in the freedom he gave you, that you honor the sacrifice not by self-punishment but by living in grace. Guilt has a purpose. It wakes your conscience. It signals when your heart has drifted, but it becomes a prison when you refuse to leave it behind. I forgave you. Why won't you? Do you believe your judgment is stronger than mine? Do you believe I need you to prove your shame before I can restore your joy? The moment you confessed, I removed it. As far as the east is from the west, I remember it no more. That's not poetic, it's permanent. You keep picking up what I buried. You keep mourning what I've already redeemed. You visit graves I've already emptied. That is not humility. That's disbelief. It's distrust wrapped in sorrow. Let go of the weight of your past failures. Stop treating your scars like open wounds. The cross wasn't symbolic, it was sufficient. When my son declared, "It is finished," he meant it. You were included in that moment. It is finished means you are free. Confess and believe. Don't rehearse the past. Receive my grace. Let it flood the cracks in your shame. Let it remind you that redemption is louder than regret. When guilt rises, answer it with truth. I am forgiven. I am new. I am not my worst moment. Say it aloud if you must. Whisper it. Shout it. Repeat it until it sinks in. Shame flees in the presence of truth. Chains break in the presence of belief. Let it go. Your identity is not what you did. It's who I say you are. You are not defined by the pit, but by the hand that pulled you out. Chapter 6. Let go of the anger you've been holding. I know why you're angry. You were hurt. You were overlooked. You were taken for granted. Your kindness was misused. Your trust was broken. And somewhere deep inside, you began to believe that the only way to feel safe was to stay guarded, bitter, and ready to defend yourself from being hurt again. But anger is not your shield. It is your chain. And you were never meant to carry it this long. You think holding on to anger protects you, but it only poisons you. It keeps you bound to the offense. It ties your worth to your wound. And that's not the life I gave my son to redeem. I gave him to you so you could walk in peace. I gave him to you so you could love with an open heart, not a closed fist. Yes, your anger is valid, but you are not called to live inside of it. You are called to be free. Let me in where the fire still burns. I see the conversations you replay, the justice you think you were denied, the apology you never got. But you don't need closure to heal. You need my presence. You don't need revenge. You need restoration. I will handle what hurt you. I will handle who wronged you, but I need you to release the grip. Because what you won't release, you end up resembling. Forgiveness does not mean what happened was okay. It means you're no longer giving it permission to control you. It means you trust me to be your defender. It means you trust that I see all things, and I bring all things into the light. You don't need to carry the torch of anger to keep your dignity. Your dignity is safe in my hands. Pray for the strength to forgive. Speak aloud the names you've buried. Write them down. Bless them in faith, even when you don't feel it yet. Lay every grudge at the foot of the cross, where justice and mercy meet. And let the fire die, not because the pain wasn't real, but because your peace is more powerful. Let it go. Chapter 7. Let go of the fear of the future. You're afraid, not because you're weak, but because you're human. You think about tomorrow, and the questions multiply. What if it doesn't work out? What if you're not enough? What if the worst-case scenario becomes real? Fear turns possibilities into torment. But I never called you to live in torment. I called you to live in trust. I see what's ahead. I see the traps you can't. I see the blessings you're not yet ready for. I go before you. I surround you. I cover you in ways you'll never fully understand. Fear grows when you try to lead yourself. Peace returns when you follow me. I've never left you. I've never let a single moment slip outside my hands. Yes, there will be unknowns, but you do not walk into the unknown alone. Yes, there will be storms, but I'm the one who commands them. Your future is not being built in chaos, it's being woven with purpose, and I am in every thread. I don't just prepare the way, I prepare you for the way. You don't need to predict everything. You don't need to prepare for every possible outcome. You need only to stay close. Keep your eyes on me. Trust that I'm not just a God of promises, I'm the God of fulfillment, and my promises do not expire. When fear rises, pause. Pray over your future. Declare my word over your steps. Write down your fears and place them in my hands. When you're tempted to worry, worship instead. Speak life into the silence and remember, your future is already known by the one who loves you most. Let it go. Chapter 8. Let go of the lies you believed. There are words you've repeated in your heart so many times, you've started to believe them were truth. I'm not enough. I always mess things up. No one really loves me. These lies didn't come from me. They were planted in moments of pain, disappointment, and silence. And now they echo in your mind, shaping your decisions and distorting your identity. But I did not create you to live according to lies. I created you in truth, with purpose and with power. The enemy is a deceiver. He can't take your destiny, so he tries to convince you to forfeit it. He tries to cover the light in you by casting a shadow of shame, doubt, and fear. But that shadow only has power when you stop standing in my truth. You are not a mistake. You are not beyond repair. You are not too late or too broken. You are chosen. You are seen. You are loved with an everlasting love. What I say about you matters more than what you've heard, what you've thought, or what others have spoken over you. I don't speak to your mistakes. I speak to your identity. I call you mine. Let go of the lies. Tear them down like the strongholds they are. Replace them with my word. Every time a lie rises up, answer it with the truth of who I say you are. Let my voice be louder than your inner critic. My truth is not fragile. It is your foundation. Write down the lies you've believed and then write my truth beside them. Speak those truths over yourself daily. Memorize my promises. Meditate on my word. Let your thoughts be renewed, not recycled. The old labels must go. It's time to walk in truth. Let it go. Chapter 9. Let go of the outcome. You want to know how it ends. You want to know that all your effort, your prayers, your waiting will be worth it. You want to see results. You want to control the conclusion. But that's not faith. That's fear in disguise. Faith is not holding the outcome. It's trusting me with it. You've done all you could. You've prayed, you've worked, you've obeyed. But now you must release it. Not because you don't care, but because you trust that I do. You don't have to carry the pressure of producing the result. That's my role. Yours is to obey, love, trust, and let go. Outcomes are not the evidence of your worth. Obedience is. I don't love you more when it works out. I don't love you less when it doesn't. My love is not measured in success. It's measured in your surrender. Let me take what's beyond your reach and do what only I can do. Write down what you're trying to control. Surrender it in prayer. Say aloud, God, I trust you with this. And every time the urge to take it back arises, return it again. Surrender is not one decision. It's a daily rhythm. Let it go. Chapter 10. Let go and live free. This is the moment. This is where the weight you've carried, the fears you've nurtured, the guilt you've justified, all of it, meets my invitation to step forward in freedom. Not just partial freedom, not just moments of relief, but full, abundant, unshakable freedom. I did not call you to survive your past. I called you to be transformed through it. You've learned to let go of pain, of people, of control, of shame. Now it's time to live like you've been set free. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions to begin. Start now with what you have, with who you are, with where you are. I never said it would be easy, but I promised I would go with you. And I keep every promise. Freedom is not the absence of struggle. It's the presence of faith in the middle of it. It's knowing you're no longer walking alone. It's hearing my voice louder than your fears. It's believing that what I've put in you is stronger than what's come against you. It's waking up each day with hope, even when nothing has changed yet. Because you know I'm working in every delay, every silence, every mystery. You don't need to fear the future. You don't need to carry the past. You don't need to prove yourself to earn what I've already given. You are my child. My grace is enough. My power is made perfect in your weakness. Walk in that truth. Let it change the way you think, the way you speak, the way you show up. Let it give you courage. Let it give you peace. Begin every day by saying, I am free. Let that be the banner over your thoughts. Make choices not out of fear, but out of faith. Stay present. Stay grounded in gratitude. When the past calls, remind it that it has no authority here. When fear whispers, answer with trust. Live free, not someday, today, right now, because I have set you free. And who the sun sets free is free indeed. The end of the wait, the beginning of your walk. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You are free.